Om Shiva Namaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Somebody during the week has inquired me. Somebody during the week has inquired me that how do we know that the combination of things that you have mentioned to raise the life energy within, how do we know that we are doing it right? I hope you understand the question. Somebody, this person, they follow me here on Facebook and they also follow me on YouTube. And in previous messages and in previous retweets, I have mentioned the tools to raise the life force and the life energy. You can call it Kundalini or whatever the word you want to use, either from Sanskrit. It indicates, remember, we talked about that, it indicates to the same process. The word itself is not that. It just indicates the same process, that how we can raise the very life energy. When we raise the very life energy, we are not in the contradiction with ourselves for the most part of our life. And in brief and in short, life seems peaceful. And for the most part of our day, we feel fulfilled. So we have talked about that. I remember mentioning a name, Gaudapada and his student, Shankara Acharya. Shankara Acharya's work in non-duality or Advaita Vedanta is remarkable. And Shankara Acharya gave us a set of tools that how to raise the life energy. And I remember talking about that quite a few times in the previous messages and retreats. So this person, they are taking the right measures. So this person, they are taking the right measures and they feel that it is working. However, the question they have asked or the inquiry that they have made is, how do we know that we are doing it just right? I hope you understand the question. They are following, or they are trying on the fundamental level to use the set of tools to feel more healthy and more pleasant, and they see a change. However, they are asking that how we know for sure with concrete that we are doing it the right way. That's the question. I have explained it in a way that you understand or you comprehend the question fully. So, the answer, first we are going to give the answer, then we are going to approach it in more profound and more elaborate way. So the answer to that is in one statement. As you can see, the caption is that how contented and how fulfilled you feel at any given moment. That's the answer. If you are feeling at any given moment, or for the most part of your day, fulfilled and contented, if you observe that there is no if you observe that there is no compulsion in you, if you observe that there is no pulling within your awareness or compulsion, if you observe there is no compelling to move on to the next one, or there is no compelling that I must be in a state, I must be in a better state than I am feeling in this moment or at present. Are you understanding the answer? The answer to this inquiry is, and this answer goes to each one of us. The answer to that inquiry is that how fulfilled or how contented, how fulfilled and how much contented we feel with ourselves at any given moment or for the most part of our day. You see, if we don't, or if we have transcended, if we have transcended ourselves from the compelling in our awareness that I must be better than I am feeling right now. That's what fulfillment is. Fulfillment means that you have no compelling. Fulfillment means that you have no compulsion now. You have transcended or you have zeroed the compulsion or compelling that I must be something better than I am in this given moment, like I am at this moment in time. But for one, I have been in a state of meditation since 4 o'clock this morning. So when you do copium or tremendous amount of meditation, it's a given. That's why I stress to make some time for yourself just about in every message I deliver. And number two, I also want to talk briefly and want to give you a very simple tool to practice. Through this simple tool to practice, if you follow that, that would bring enormous clarity in your perception every day. I hope you are following. After we look into the answer in the more elaborate and detailed way, I am going to give you also a tool. A yogi acknowledges and a yogi recognizes the five elements of nature. You understand the five elements of nature, which is earth, which is space, which is air, fire, and water. These are the five elements. And if we use these just in exactly in a right way, if we give gratitude consciously, where there is no drama going on in our mind during meditation, our relationship with the life we are living right now improves tremendously. So these are the two projects, or these are the two topics we are going to talk about. So to answer in the inquiry that I gave is that how contented or how fulfilled we feel at any given moment. That is the whole purpose to take the carnation. Because if we are feeling totally fulfilled and if we are feeling totally contented with ourselves at any given moment, it means that we are using those tools who are bringing life energy within us up in the right way. That's the answer. But it does not happen in a blink of an eye. As I told you before, it's not a drive through attainment, it's not a drive through uh, transcending, it's not a drive through enlightenment. Everything takes time and everything takes effort and everything takes dedication. For one thing, which is when we are in a state of meditation, it is very significant for us to make sure that we have zeroed our focus from everywhere. That's why I recommend you the ideal time to perform meditation is the morning time. You see, and number two, your willingness and your intention. If you have intention for your well-being and those around you, are you following me? If you have intention of your well-being and those around you, you would become dedicated to your discipline, which is kriya, yoga, and meditation. When your life improves, when your well-being improves, it's natural that you would spread that around. That's why in yogic culture, we definitely believe that we produce one happy human being. We produce one happy and contented and peaceful human being. We produce a peaceful society because it's only natural that it would resonate through you and you would pass this on. You see? So if you are using the combination of the tools, then you would start feeling contented or fulfilled at any given moment. That's the test of it. And if the answer is yes, for the most part, even of your day, if not all the time, you are feeling contented and fulfilled, then it means you are headed into the right direction. So the one is zero the focus during the meditation from everywhere. When you zero the focus during meditation from everywhere, what remains is the focus. What remains is the journal focus. What remains is the focus without any intention or without any direction. That focus is the best focus that there is, and that state is the best state of meditation. When, for some time at least, you can maintain a general focus. Number three that we need to understand, and Adi Shankara Acharya gave us the tool about that too. These are all the tools. So another one is the karma yoga. In yogic culture, there is a term. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the term. Karma yoga means an act, in simple words, an act of selfless but not selfish, and not the act of selfishness, but the act of being selfless. As I have mentioned in one of my messages when I was delivering the messages, that on Nike brand, you see there is a check sign, and underneath the check sign it says just do it. Means you are not doing something in the expectation to gain something. You are just doing it. You are just doing it for the heck of it, if I can be that blunt. You are just doing it because it makes you feel happy. You are doing a kind act. You are feeding an animal. You are giving animal. It could be any small act of kindness. You see, you are giving an animal some water. You are helping somebody cross the road. You are holding the door for somebody, and the poor person may have a disability. A small act of kindness are considered these karma yoga, in which excuse me, in which we don't expect anything in return. Our intention is transparent, and we are performing these we are performing these acts of kindness for no reason. You see, so when you have that kind of intention within you, that today I am going to perform some act of kindness, then you have an entirely different energy. You understand? When there is no self, when there is no ego, when there is no human intellect, when there is no um, uh, separate self. You see, when there is no separate self, when there is absolutely no involvement of a separate self in the entire scheme of things. I hope you are following me. When there is no separate self and there is no involvement of separate self in overall scheme of things, it is karma yoga, that you are performing the acts of kindness, that you are performing the acts of selfless without having the expectations in return, that what am I going to get in the situation. If you focus enough to other human beings around you, you realize more than half of the humanity is acting in a selfish way, unfortunately and sadly. That's why I have mentioned it before, that this planet has become, unfortunately, very sick. Okay, it is not a judgment. When we focus to the humanity, we realize that very clearly. However, it doesn't have to be this way. This picture can be changed. That's why we, the yogis and the meditators and the sages, come in the picture, and we are doing a job that we are trying to bring clarity in the perception. We are trying to bring transparency in the perception. You understand? This way, we all can see it more clearly. What you think is going to make somebody happy, basically, is would make you happy. Please remember that. What you think is going to make somebody happy very profoundly would make you happy. When you perform an act of kindness without having to expect anything in return, it makes you happy profoundly. So that's another one. Number four is the gossips. Please remember that that's very important. Gossips usually are given birth with judgment. You understand? What we do through yoga and meditation, we try to keep our vacuum empty. Are you following what I'm saying to you? It's very significant to understand. Please follow my words. It's what I'm telling you. um, when we gossip, it means that prior to that, usually the case is that our concentration, our attention, or our focus, our concentration, our attention, or our focus. Just keep following. You would get the gist of what I'm saying just in a minute. Our concentration, our attention, or our focus is on somebody. You understand, when we try to judge somebody, when we try to control somebody, if we focus and we are alert enough and we are wise enough to see, we realize every time we try to control somebody, we are taking our own liberty away. Have you ever noticed that? Every time, I'm saying hypothetically speaking, I'm giving you an example to elaborate to what I am saying, and I'm sure you are aware of it. I'm not saying that it's happening, but it happens in other people's life. It happens. Every time someone tries to control somebody, they are taking their own freedom and they are taking their own liberty away. Because in order to control somebody, you have to solely focus on that person. You have to bring your attention and focus to that person. You see, when you bring your focus, when you bring your attention towards someone in order to judge them or to control them, it means now you are solely focused on one person. You are not being inclusive entirely. Remember the one I being please remember the one eye, that one eye for the entire creation. Life is happening in all inclusion, but not seclusion. But remember something, every time we focus, every time in order to judge somebody, because our intention is to start gossip, you see, then we take our own liberty away. Now our focus is solely zeroed in somebody. Hypothetically speaking, I'm saying it happens to people, you see. So it's not smart in any regard. It's not smart, it's not wise, it's not even intelligent to pay attention to what others are doing. You see, if we just pay attention to ourselves, there comes a point in our life that we realize we don't need to even worry about anybody else, because our life becomes better. You see, if we do not like what we see in our lives, then we can take the right measures to rewrite the story or to change the karma through our free will. I hope you're following everything. So it's not necessary to bring your attention voluntarily to somebody in order to make their life difficult and to judge them and to control them. It's not necessary. It is all human conditioning, and it is just a nasty habit. However, it is not necessary at all. You can live more happily when you are all inclusive in the life as it is happening. You see, these are all the right tools. When you do not pay attention, when you do not zero your focus on other people, when you do not judge them, when you do not try to control them, you feel totally free, totally liberated, and totally free. You feel light in your daily life activity. Life becomes so easier for you that you don't even feel that you are putting any efforts in order to live one. You see what I'm saying to you? So, this is what happens when you free your attention, when you free your focus from unnecessary human conditioning, gossips, judgments, and drama. Then your vacuum is empty. It is automatically natural when your vacuum is empty, you become more receptive to divinity, or you become more receptive to sacred. Are you following what I'm saying to you? This is how I do it all the time. My life went through a total transformation, specifically in last 10 years. A lot of karma unfolded in my life, or in this carnation, which is two knots, the carnation between the birth, the knot of birth, and the death. So whatever it is between, it unfolded tremendous amount of karma in last 10 years. But now my focus has become tremendous because I have dedicated myself to the discipline. I know for a fact if there were things in the past, I took action. Action means I became more receptive. I got rid of unnecessary and unhealthy habits such as gossips, judgments, and all that. So my vacuum became empty, and naturally I became more receptive. These are the tools. If you do it on the regular basis while maintaining a general focus during meditation, you would see the tremendous results, that how your relationship with life would dramatically improve. So that is number one thing that we need to remember to answer your inquiry, that how we know that when we are doing these combination of tools, how do we know that we are on we are doing it right, you see, or what is the test that we know that we are doing it correct, we are using these combination of tools in a correct manner. So this is the answer, that you during the day you become so alert through meditation and taking all the right measures, that during the day you check yourself. You, when specifically right after your meditation, you can check yourself during the day, 12 o'clock, maybe in the afternoon. You see, 12 o'clock, Maybe in the afternoon, you can check yourself. 5 o'clock in the evening, you can check yourself. Am I feeling contented with myself? Do I have a compulsion or a compelling feeling in the back of my head which is telling me you must be doing something more or better than what you are doing right now? If you have that, it means that it requires more work. But if you see that you have it, but it is not as potent, then it means you are taking the right measures. I have answered your inquiry in a very elaborate way, in a detailed manner. You understand what I'm saying to you? So if you have even any questions or confusions, you can write me. So there was the answer, the primary inquiry, and the answer of it, you see. Number two, as I mentioned, that I would give you a simple practice. You see, a very a very simple practice. This practice does not require anyone outside of yourself. This practice works on the five elements of the nature which support life um, on planet, you see. So this practice supports life on the planet and the five elements of the nature, and it works through the five elements of the nature. Number one is earth. Number two is fire. Number three is air. Number four is water and space. You see, these are the five elements of the nature through which life is supported. Okay. Now, if we use these five elements in order to pay our gratitude to these five elements, the relationship towards the very life we are living right now at any given moment improves. We have more patience with people. We have more wisdom. We have more receptivity in us, and we learn to listen. Listening is important. Remember, I always mention that. So, one of the element, which is a very significant element, one of the element which is for the most part our body, the body. You see this body here, or the body, your body, or any body, that is water. If I'm not mistaken, it's 72 or 76% of your body is water. Do not count me on that one. As I said, if I am not mistaken, but you can look it up. I am sure it is a major or very dominant element in our body. 72 or 76% is water. So this is a small practice, you see, that you do during your meditation. Remember all the right tools that I have mentioned not long ago. If you are doing it on the regular basis, then you also add this and you can see small simple measures, small simple practices which does not require any outside help from anyone, brings tremendous clarity. Once clarity is there, everything changes in a good manner, of course. And that's the dream of the yogi, to produce healthy and happy society. So this is water. As I mentioned, it is very dominant element of nature in our body. This is water. Every day during the meditation, when you make time for yourself, ideally in the morning, you sit in your meditative position with your legs crossed, of course, um, and attentive, as comfortable as humanly possible. As we are sitting in this meditative position, as we are sitting comfortable but attentive, and we are looking straight while we are paying attention to the very life which is going in and coming out, this water is just right here. Okay, what we are doing, we are trying to take a charge of our thoughts, we are trying to take a charge how are we feeling, and we are trying to take a charge of our body completely. Okay. After some time, when we feel more calmer, you would automatically realize you would feel more calmer. Excuse me, you would feel more calmer. As you feel more calmer, you gently, without making a drama about it, move your focus. We are still breathing, of course, but we are just moving the focus towards the water, you see, and we looking now at the water in the bottle or in a glass. Now, please remember, as we are looking, we understand that we are not boarding on any thoughts. You understand? While we are paying our focus, you see, gently we brought our focus through, excuse me, gently we brought our focus from the breathing pattern to the element of nature, which is a predominating element, a major element, which is water, which is just right here. We gently shifted, you see, that's the correct word. We gently shifted our focus from our breathing. Of course, we are maintaining a peaceful and a steady breathing, but we are moving or shifting focus from the breathing, and we are bringing it towards water. So now we brought our focus to the water. Now we are sitting. We have no psychological drama, no thoughts, no compulsions, no tensions, no judgments, because we are meditating. And that's the whole point. We don't have any of that. So we are sitting. We are maintaining a steady breathing, but our focus, we are still paying at gratitude and thank to breathing, of course. But our focus has shifted now towards the major element of the nature, which is water. It has shifted, you see. Now we are consciously, if you are following every word I'm saying, now we are consciously paying attention to the water. As we pay conscious attention to the water, believe me or don't believe me, the molecules, you see, the molecule pattern in the water even changes. You know that? It's alive. Everything in creation and everything in nature is alive. So is the water, which is the major element within or among five elements of nature. Have you noticed ever when I am in a silent state of meditation, um, I always make sure that I post the silent meditation that helps, gives you glimpses, small glimpses, or at least some idea that how to sit correct in a right position and how to perform the fundamental of meditation. Have you ever noticed that in during the meditation, as I gently rub both my palms together and I go around the water and I do this, there is also that is also one way to pay gratitude. In yogic culture, so do it sometime every day. You see, if you have any questions or comments, you can always write me. I'm here for you. You see, in yogic culture, there's a small and simple practice um, called Buddha Siddhi. In yogic culture, when we consciously pray gratitude to the five elements of nature, the major one is water, and it's easier to do it with the water because 72 or 76% of our body is water. Our relation with life improves tremendously and dramatically in a good manner. Do it every day. If you have any questions, ask me. In yogic culture, we call this practice, the very practice that I demonstrated, is called Buddha Siddhi. You see, just in case if somebody's wondering.